The Eris X Bitcoin futures have been approved in the USA, which is a very bullish sign overall for the entire crypto industry. Ministers in the Netherlands prove why Bitcoin is the money of the future, and media propaganda versus Bitcoin just won't stop. A big thank you to today's sponsor, Liquid.com. Now, Liquid.com is going to be hosting the first public sale of Telegram's Gram token on July 10th. And to celebrate, they are doing a $500,000 giveaway. For every 100 US dollars that you spend during the Gram token sale, you will receive one raffle ticket with a top prize of $100,000 worth of Gram tokens up for grabs. Also, there will be special rebates for cash token holders. Remember, of course, that you do need to have a verified Liquid account in order to participate in the sale, and that unfortunately US citizens are excluded on this one. So, the price of Bitcoin, well, it briefly dipped under the $10,000 mark today before seeing a bit of a rebound up to around $10,500. Fairly curious personally to see if Bitcoin can actually continue to defend the 5-digit price zone, or if we are going to correct down even farther. Maybe we'll be testing some of those big resistance zones that we did see previously, like $8,800 or perhaps even lower. But personally, while the day-to-day price movements are fun to watch, honestly, it's nothing more than watching the passing of clouds to me. Because the real value of Bitcoin is way, way more than the current fiat valuation. It's crazy to think that every time you sell your fake fiat, you are voting against a broken monetary system, that you are going out and buying real money. Because fiat is basically one giant crazy Ponzi scheme propagated by people with guns who control the television. Fiat currency, guys. It's crazy. Anyway, the big story today, we have just had a massive announcement from Eris X, who has received approval from the CFTC to launch crypto futures products on US markets. Yeah, exciting stuff. Well, Eris X has not given a definitive date for product launch. They have said that it should be coming by the end of the year. Eris X, like Ledger X and Backed, will be physically settled futures contracts. Yes, they will be settled in actual Bitcoin when the contracts finish. Well, this may be little more than a formality for many of the buyers and the sellers. It does ensure that all of these futures products will be underwritten one for one in actual Bitcoin, which, if we can imagine that the CME, for example, which has seen billions of dollars in volume, then Ledger X and Eris X and Backed and SeedCX will all require tens of thousands of Bitcoin to underwrite their product. Now, I suspect that they have already acquired a good deal of Bitcoin during the bear market, but if these contracts do prove to be very popular, then they will need to go out and buy more Bitcoin. Last week, Ledger X was approved, of course, and now that we have Eris X being approved, the only missing piece of the puzzle is Backed, which, of course, is the biggest of them all. And at this point, the Backed announcement has got to be a near certainty, with the other two being approved. Backed, of course, is testing their product during the month of July, and I am sure that an approval announcement will be coming soon. I know it's become almost like a meme, when Backed, but it's coming, guys. Now, all of these products, even though being approved now, will not see launch until later this year, so it's kind of going to be a slow burn effect on the market. And yes, Wall Street will be bringing in loads of money when this happens. But honestly, guys, screw Wall Street. All of these futures contracts, well, exciting in terms of, the professionalization of the crypto industry, the acceptance by big institutions for crypto products, and the big capital flow that's going to come in. It also means that Wall Street can short the crypto markets like crazy. Wall Street, they are master manipulators. And they can manipulate Bitcoin up and they can manipulate Bitcoin down. Manipulation is their business model. Fraud is their business model. And while, yes, there are some positives to Wall Street coming to the party, they bring a whole lot of dirty baggage with them, guys. And if you thought that Tether was bad, oh man. Just wait until Wall Street really gets dug in. It's going to make the Tether drama look like the kids' playground, guys. And speaking of Tether, have a quick look at this money flow chart. Well, institutional money obviously has been a very important factor in the current Bitcoin bull market. We cannot ignore the power of Tether to both inflate and deflate the markets, as all of the other stablecoins barely even register on the money flow chart. And after Bitfinex got their $1 billion cash infusion from the Leo sale, it seems that Tether is likely once again fully backed, and that hundreds of millions of dollars in Tether has actually been printed over the last few weeks. Crazy coincidence, of course. Tether prints big time, and the price of Bitcoin pumps up. Oh, Tether. When are we actually going to see the day when the alternatives like USDC or DAI really take hold? I'm waiting for it, guys. Also fascinating to see that premiums are still being paid for crypto in many countries around the world. Remember, of course, that many exchanges actually operate in kind of like geographic isolation, especially when we consider, the need for the fiat on-ramps and off-ramps and AML and KYC and all that fun kind of stuff, meaning that essentially there is super limited amounts of crypto available for buyers in many jurisdictions around the world. We have seen big premiums recently hitting Hong Kong, India, and Iran over the last few weeks. And now the South Koreans are back in the news with their, at this point, famous kimchi premium. The kimchi premium refers to the higher prices paid for crypto on Korean markets, with premiums of up to $1,000 being paid for Bitcoin in South Korea on some crypto exchanges. Just shows you how much people actually want to get their hands on some crypto. Okay, the next story I want to share with you is coming out of the Netherlands, where the government is proposing banning cash payments over 3,000 euros. And they are calling for the 500 euro note to be taken out of circulation. And banks are also being encouraged to rat out their customers if they make suspicious transactions. And I can imagine that simply withdrawing large amounts of cash from your bank account could get you blacklisted by your bank. That's the banking system, guys. It's lovely, isn't it? All of this, of course, the stated reason is to combat money laundering, which is a 16 billion euro a year industry in the Netherlands and up to a $4 trillion industry globally in 2018. Obviously, money laundering is a massive problem. I get it, guys. Money laundering is not cool, and it is an incredibly complex problem to address. But you have to remember, it's the banks who are enabling the money laundering. It's the banks who are profiting from the money laundering. And yet, the government doesn't take away any freedom from the banks. It doesn't take away any banking licenses for their role in laundering $16 billion a year in the Netherlands. No, quite the contrary. The government proposes giving banks more power in restricting the free movement of money for regular citizens. And 3,000 euros really is not that much, guys. Just imagine saving money, under your bed or in your cookie jar or whatever. Maybe you want to buy a rare comic book for 4,000 euros. No. That would be illegal according to this proposal. Maybe you're a farmer. You get paid in cash for your vegetables when you go down to your local market. And you know what? You've been saving that cash. You want to buy a new tractor that costs 10,000 euros. That would be illegal. That's insane. The Netherlands is not alone, of course, in doing this. Many countries restrict how much cash you can spend and have already put in even lower limits, like 1,000 euros in some countries like Spain, for example. It's insanity, guys. This is a shocking reminder of why Bitcoin is amazing. Just imagine the insanity that you cannot purchase things using your own cash over a certain limit, or that you can be blacklisted by your bank for simply doing things that it does not approve of, or you can get put on a list for taking out too much cash from your bank account. Bitcoin will never blacklist you. Bitcoin will never tell you how much you can or you cannot spend. Bitcoin will never tell you what you are or are not allowed to go and spend your money on. Bitcoin will never call up and report you to the police for suspicious transactions. Bitcoin has no judgments. It's amazing. But sadly, the G20 is pushing to see the FATF travel rule, which would kind of end privacy, especially at the point of purchase and, of course, at the point of transfer from the point of purchase for cryptocurrencies. So we may see much closer monitoring of transactions for Bitcoin. Makes me really love privacy coins like Monero and Beam and Zcash, of course. And apparently ministers in the Netherlands are also going to be pushing for more regulations on the cryptocurrency industry to help fight against money laundering as part of this overall initiative. And when you consider articles like today's piece in Bloomberg, which is entitled "Bitcoin Criminals Set to Spend $1 Billion on the Dark Web This Year." Da da da! It's no surprise that regular people have a bad opinion of Bitcoin and that out-of-touch politicians think that they need to bring in harsh regulations to take care of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency industry. All these people ever talk about in the media and stuff like that is the price, or people losing all their money, or people doing bad things. And that is an incredibly dishonest narrative. Yes, Bitcoin is money. Yes, Bitcoin will likely be used for the purchase of up to $1 billion in drugs and illicit child-related images, among a whole host of other bad things in 2019. But where the article's going wrong is that where's the shaming of the dollar and the euro? Because you know what? The illegal drug trade is worth around $500 billion a year, so Bitcoin will represent less than 0.2% of the money spent. And that's if we were to only consider the drugs and not the entire range of things for sale on the dark web. Think about that for a second. Of course, we have the illegal images of children, which is disgustingly a multi-billion-dollar industry. And yet you haven't seen many articles recently shaming the role of the dollar or of the euro in that industry, have you? No. And that's just obviously two examples. The illicit dark web markets where these kind of things are sold is actually a very diverse marketplace selling. In addition to the things that I've mentioned above, you can also find things like stolen credit card data, sex services, fake documents such as passports, weapons and explosives, and trafficked animals and animal parts, and all kinds of other weird illicit stuff, guys. All of these industries, they are multi-billion-dollar industries. Remember that when you read a headline like this from Bloomberg, it is propaganda. It is propaganda designed to create a dishonest narrative. Because if they were being honest, they would talk about the other stuff and say, hey, it's only a tiny fraction of how much dollars and euros are being spent on these illegal activities. Some of which shouldn't even be illegal anyway. I mean, the whole drug thing, that's a whole different conversation for a different day, guys, though. So anyway, you guys let me know what you think about any of these stories down below in the comment section, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching today's video. You guys are totally freaking awesome, and I really, really appreciate the time you take out of your day to come over here and check out these videos. Of course, if you did enjoy it, hit that thumbs up button, guys. And as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell if you are new around here. And you can come over and join us in the Telegram chat, actually, too, where we're always talking about crypto. We're having a good time. There's a link down below for that in the description, too. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.